It's also a lineup that features 2 sub-200 hitters and only one hitter, that's Connor Higgs, batting above 300. In fact, he's the Triple Crown leader for the Ragin' Cajuns, Ronnie. He leads with a .338 average. His 9 homers and 17 driven in, also number 1 on the team. So he is by far the best offensive threat for the Ragin' Cajuns.
Yeah, Ragin' Cajuns trying to sprinkle those lefties throughout their lineup. You see 22 sacrifice bunts. That's 6th most in Division I. So, and look, LSU's not afraid to sacrifice bunt. We've seen that a lot more out of Jay Johnson this year.
Ideal conditions, a few puffy clouds overhead to break up the royal blue, and lots of sunshine here as we start this game, and a nice crowd on hand. As we take a look at Jaden Newt getting the start. He's from Oak Park, California, a big fellow, 6'4", 228-pounder. He can throw hard, 1-0 so far this year, 3.72 ERA. Not a lot of innings, 9 2/3, and 14 strikeouts against 6 walks. His last start was against New Orleans. He picked up the win. He went 4 innings and allowed 4 hits. And he's given up 7 hits on the year.
They stretched him out a little bit last week, let him go around 60-plus pitches in that ball game. So curious to see how they use him. He did not throw over the weekend at Texas, so he is rested and ready to go. 3, 4, 5 innings if need be.
80 glorious degrees right now. No chance of rain. The wind's out of the northeast at 6 to 10 miles an hour. That's blowing out towards center field, basically. It shouldn't be too much of an aid to the hitters right now, but just wonderful conditions here as we approach late March and get ready for the April part of the season. Ragin' Cajuns, 11-14 on the year. And Newt's first pitch is outside. Alex Ziegler is calling balls and strikes. Big Eddie Newsom is at first base. Ryan Broussard, the second base umpire. And Jeff Head is working third. That's a called strike. Jeff Head raised his right hand down at third base. So the count is even after a couple of pitches. Brooks Wright, one of those youngsters, they think he's going to have a fine career in Lafayette. He's a freshman hitting .284. He is not a home run hitter yet. 3 doubles, a triple, and 14 driven in. A pretty good number at the top of the order. Newt's 2-1 pitch is sliced foul. That's into the net on the left side.
So you're going to see a fastball from Newt that's going to run anywhere from 91 to 94 miles an hour. He can touch a 95 for sure. But last week we saw a tremendous amount of that split finger pitch from Newt that's going to be anywhere from 85 to 88 miles an hour. He threw that at least 50% of the time against UNO.
And if he can control that and the movement stays alive, that can be a wipeout pitch. But he goes 3-2 on Wright. There are 23 freshmen and sophomores combined on this Ragin' Cajun roster. The pitch, sliced foul. Interestingly enough, and it's not common for a leadoff hitter, but Wright actually leads the team in strikeouts. He and Higgs have 22. That pitch was low and inside, but Ziegler rang him up.
This is an outstanding pitch. 94 at the knees. You see the series history between these two teams. The 87th meeting between the Ragin' Cajuns and LSU. The Tigers lead the all-time series 58-28. Last year, LSU won a close one 5-4. The Ragin' Cajuns won in 2023. And the Tigers have won 8 of their last 12 meetings. And you see right there, there's the split finger. The bottom fell out of it, 84 miles an hour.
And Owen Galt is another freshman, hitting .295. He's just a base hit away from 300. And Newt works ahead, 2 strikes.
I twisted one a little bit right there. I had a little more break on it. It's, if you look at Newt and his mechanics and how nice and easy and loose he is when he throws his pitches, Galt showed some pretty good wheels getting down the line too. I mean, it was a high chopper, but he beat it out easily.
Braswell with a nice play with the bare hand, but was late with the throw. Braswell and Jones on the corners defensively. Milam and Dickinson the middle infielders. Curiel and Brown are the corner outfielders. Stanfield is patrolling center field. Aram Beatty gets the start behind the plate with Newt on the mound for the Tigers. Possible when Braswell was charging it, but in back-to-back plays, Ronnie, he picks it up with his bare hand.
Yeah, do or die play, fantastic. There'll be a challenge by Eddie Newsom, the first base umpire and crew chief, made that announcement, and this is awfully close. I mean,
there's a loose cat up here.
Yeah, Mike the Tiger stopped by the booth to say hello for a minute. I like the gold jersey, no question about it.
Mike, do you have a handler?
Mike in the house.
Where's security?
So how about the Raging Cajuns? A little rally going here with 2 outs. Neither ground ball made it to the dirt, and they've got runners at first and second.
I don't think this is going to take very long to decide that the call will be overturned. Jay Johnson in his 4th season, 159 victories, only 65 setbacks, and a winning percentage of .710.
So if they do reverse the call, there'll be runners at first and second and 1 out. Double play will be in order with Lee Amity batting.
You know, there are plenty of snacks in that umpire dressing room where they make the call, so they may be chewing on some Doritos or something. We'll get the official rendering right now. As expected, it was overturned. Braswell did everything he could. He got the benefit of the doubt on the initial call. But there's the freeze frame. You can see the ball not yet in the leather, and the left foot on the bag.
Yeah, clearly on the green base.
So back-to-back chops to the left side result in infield hits. And Amity, a junior with a .263 average and 1 home run with 13 driven in, steps to the plate against Newt.
Amity from nearby Gonzales, Louisiana, went to Santa Maria High School. And Lee Amity, he actually played for a program that has produced so many good players that have played here at LSU, played for the Raging Cajuns. You think of Santa Maria High School, you think of the 90s when they had the Sheets. You had Andy Sheets, who was a great shortstop in 91, 92 at LSU. And then, of course, you had Ben Sheets, pitched in the major leagues, who went to ULM. And he's in the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. And then one of the all-time favorite teammates and a great infielder, Jason Williams, who in 1996 was captain of that LSU National Championship team. That's just a few of the many, many great players that have gone to Santa Maria, which is about probably from here to that school about a 25-minute drive.
Have you been in Baton Rouge traffic lately? Double it.
Depends on what time of day and the direction and all that.
I mean, if you're on the interstate at certain times of the day, you are in trouble for getting caught by a glacier. I'm telling you, you'll be overrun by a glacier at times on the interstate. It is rough, folks.
It's pretty brutal in Baton Rouge, no question. Big pitch here. Raging Cajuns first and second, 1 out.
Let's see if they stay put, Ronnie. They are aggressive on the base paths, dancing around a little bit. And the casual throw bounces back to Milam, who covers it up. Newt got a strikeout against Wright to open the ball game, but back-to-back infield hits have put 2 Cajuns aboard. Newt with a long, and they did put him in motion.
Yeah, Matt Deggs put the runners in motion, and that kept them out of an inning-ending double play. Stelly runs well, and he was got a big lead with the runner at second base, able to beat it to the bag. Milam not able to get over there in front and tag him or step on the bag. And so the Raging Cajuns have a couple of ducks on the pond in scoring position.
Now first base is unoccupied. There are 2 outs. So Newt can concentrate on the hitter, who is Jose Torres.
Well, this is a conversation also to kind of get Newt's attention. You got Jose Torres right here, right-handed batter who's hitting 262 on the season. If you were to walk him or pitch around him, now all of a sudden you're facing a lefty batter in Connor Higgs, who's their best hitter on the team and whose batting average is about 70 points higher. So you definitely, I think this is a point where you're making a Newt, hey, let's go right here and get Torres, make him beat us, not Connor Higgs.
And one additional note about Higgs, he was recently, in fact today, named the Sun Belt Conference Player of the Week last week, so he's hot.
He had a big weekend against South Alabama. The Raging Cajuns took 2 out of 3 against the South Alabama Jaguars in Mobile, and Connor Higgs was outstanding.
Galt at third base, Stelly at second. 2 outs, the infield is back. Torres looks at a pitch outside. We are delighted to have you in our audience. We're just starting. Beautiful conditions here in Baton Rouge. Call a buddy, call a couple of neighbors. Make sure they know the game is on. That twists away. That one was wider than the first one. 2 balls, no strikes. Ronnie Rance, Lynn Rollins with you, and we are very appreciative of you tuning in tonight. So it just went awry. That's going to be a throwing error on Milam. As he bounced, he was unable to field the ball cleanly. I thought he still had time, Ronnie, but he ditched the throw even after the pickup here.
Yeah, Milam kind of rushed it, right? These Raging Cajuns run well, and that's one that Jones wishes he could have had back. A tough pick, but we've seen him make that pick a lot this year. And we kind of highlighted how, I mean, that's not going to go as an error. It's a ball in the dirt, but he's only had 1 error this season and has been really good with the hands over at first base, and that was one that couldn't get. Raging Cajuns get a run.
And a strike to Connor Higgs, a dangerous hitter.
Stephen Milam now 3rd error on the season. He had an error over the on Friday night in Austin, Texas, and then that one right there, that's his 3rd.
And Milam, who was almost perfect through the first 20 games or so, has committed a couple of errors uncharacteristically in recent outings.
Well, it's called the law of averages, Lynn. You know, you can't play this game at this high of a level and just be perfect. You're gonna make mistakes. It's called minimizing those mistakes. Milam's been very, very good this year defensively, and just like most errors, it's the easy ones you make, and he's made so many great hard plays. The errors he's made this year have been the sort of the routine ones.
Higgs checks in with 9 home runs. The rest of the team combined only has a dozen. So he is by far the most serious threat offensively. And that's the end of the inning. But a productive one, a couple of infield hits, an error, and the Raging Cajuns take a 1-0 lead over LSU. This is the most potent offense to this point of the season in the Southeastern Conference. There are 7 players hitting 300 or better. The first couple are batting over 400, 420 each for Curiel and Jones. A very powerful lineup indeed for the LSU Tigers. Curiel, Jones, Dickinson, Fry, Milam, Brown, Arambidi, Braswell, and Stanfield. Against the Texas Longhorns, they were 7 for 28, I believe. We'll go back and check that now. 7 for 27 with runners in scoring position. And left 25 on base. That's not common for LSU. Andrew Herman is the left-hander, Ronnie. Now, he pitched 5 innings on Friday in relief, so this is a bit of a quick turnaround for him. He's been troubled with injuries throughout his career, but he is a very dogged, determined left-hander who wants the ball in his hands, even though he has pitched with a handicap, some injuries over the course of his career.
So I asked Matt Deggs, I said, tell me about Herman, and he said he's like a Jamie Moyer. Now, you got to be 45 and over, 40 and over
Jamie was.
to know Jamie Moyer. Yeah, he pitched like till he was almost 50. Soft throwing lefty who pitched 20-plus years in the major leagues. And so, all right, so that's what you know, right? Mid-80s guy, just slower, but paints both sides of the plate, throws a lot of strikes, and keeps you frustratedly off balance.
And he is known as a bulldog with the ball in his hands. He's given up 25 hits in 28 innings, so less than a hit per inning. 12 of those, however, have been for extra bases. Here's Curiel, who continues to shine at the top of the order. Without question, number 6 is one of the finest leadoff hitters in America.
And you see the very good numbers, 420 batting average, couple of homers. And what I like is takes a lot of pitches, not only just as the leadoff batter to start the game, but he just sees a lot of pitches, and law of averages say the more pitches you see, the better swings you'll make. And here he is, worked himself into a hitter's count, 3-1.
He is the only Tiger that has reached base in every game this year. That's outside, and Curiel's streak continues. And Ronnie, that's a perfect example of how he contributes to this LSU lineup.
Wasn't outside by much, but it definitely was. You saw the catcher who's already set up on the outer third reach out to the left, and that's a sign that the ball's off the plate.
Curiel now has reached base in 26 consecutive games. And this brings on Jared Jones, who, like Curiel, is hitting .420. We're almost at the halfway point of the season already. And if you would have told me that Jared Jones would be batting .420 25 games in, I might have had some serious doubts. But he has been really locked in, producing a lot of base hits. He finds base hits, or has so far this year, like a divining rod finds water.
How about the top 3 batters in this LSU lineup? Curiel, Jones, and Dickinson. All 3 have an on-base percentage over 500. Connor Higgs for the Raging Cajuns has a .476 on-base percentage, which is their tops. No one else on the team has anything over .391 for the Raging Cajuns. LSU, every single batter in their lineup has an on-base percentage better than .391, which is Caleb Stelly. The only player not, Braswell's over .305. But I mean, that is outstanding stuff. And why LSU is one of the top teams in the country at scoring runs per game is because of that high on-base percentage.
Jones is coming off a 6 for 15 performance against the Longhorns with a double and 3 driven in. LSU won the first game of that series and dropped the last 2.
If I'd have told you that Jared Jones would have 6 hits against Texas but only 1 extra base hit, you probably wouldn't have believed me.
And 6 hits, and his average dropped. That's one down the middle. Jones appeared to be taking all the way, 3-1. 2 infield hits and an error produced a Raging Cajun run in the top of the inning. So back-to-back bases on balls to open the game for LSU offensively.
Nice patience by the Tigers. That on-base percentage will go up even more, but Herman nibbling a little bit too much. Herman came in with only 7 walks on the season and 28 innings pitched and 25 strikeouts. So, you know, almost 4-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio, but tonight has nibbled against this hot hitting top of the lineup for LSU.
The lefty checks the runners and delivers and misses outside. Daniel Dickinson hitting .359 with some power. 6 homers, that's second on the team. 28 driven in, that's second on the team. 7 doubles, that's tied for third. And 28 base hits for Daniel Dickinson.
Now you might have to get a visit here in a minute from Seth Thibodeau, the Raging Cajun pitching coach, if Herman walks Dickinson.
The infield is at double play depth with a 1-0 lead. Tigers aboard, Curiel and Jones. Fry is on deck. Only.
But
So we'll sort this out. Our vantage point did not allow us with the naked eye to see what happened in the corner.
I thought he
Let's
caught
take
it
another
with the
look at
naked
this.
eye. All right, here's a fly ball down the right field line. Ethan Fry has been in fuego going back to last Tuesday, a week ago against UNO, and he hit 2 home runs in a pinch hit, off the bench. And then right here comes through with a big, double, 2 RBI to put LSU on top 3-1. And the pride of Central Louisiana is making a case for coach. Keep me in that lineup. I mean, there were like 6 or 7 players battling Jay Johnson to play in the outfield. He's got so many choices. Obviously, got to have somebody DH as well. Friday night is DHing and comes through with a big clutch double.
So Dickinson doubles into the right field corner. Fry promptly follows with a double to the left field corner. And here is Stephen Milam. Reich on a twister. Milam, against left-handed pitching, is batting a whopping .393. He's hitting a very tidy and solid .350 against right-handers. So from either side, he's been good. There is bullpen activity. A right-hander is throwing for the Cajuns.
Now, I don't think they expected to have to get Matthew Holzhammer up in this game in the first inning. I mean, when I asked Matt Deggs how long are you going to allow Andrew Herman to pitch tonight, is there sort of a limitation? And he said no, as long as he can go, as long as he's doing well.
Well, he went 5 on Friday night in relief. And he gets to start here on Tuesday. The 1-2 pitch to Milam. That was an off-speed pitch. And Milam slices it off foul. For those of you interested in LSU and Ragin' Cajun softball, we'll keep you posted as those two teams do battle in Lafayette. Milam looks at one tight. On the softball field in Lafayette, the teams are tied. Nobody has scored. It's in the bottom of the 3rd. Milam with a keen eye lets that pass. And a full count now. Fry at second base. He runs well for a big fellow. Nicked the inside corner. Excuse me, Milam is called out on strikes. That nicks the inside corner. Let's check it defensively. Higgs and Wright are on the corners in the outfield. Hepworth is the center fielder. Cuff and Ardouin are the middle infielders. Galt and Amadei are the corner infielders. And Jose Torres is behind the plate with Herman, the left-hander, on the mound. So Milam was unable to move the runner Fry from second base. And here's Jake Brown. Brownie, you talked about him in the open, about how his movement upward in that batting average has been quiet, and we put that in quotes. But he has certainly been a part of LSU's SEC leading batting average.
Yeah, just kind of, I guess, has sort of quietly, you look up, 373 and top 20 in the SEC, been playing in every game, and a guy who is, I guess, out of high school, was a left-handed pitcher prospect. That never happened. They never even put him on the mound, and he has settled in really nicely as a hitter, and is battling in that outfield. I mean, a packed outfield that has Chris Stanfield, the Auburn transfer, and of course Derek Curiel, and now Brown. But then you throw in Fry. We haven't even talked about Ashton Larson, Josh Pearson, a senior who's been so big. I mean, there's so many options offensively for Jay Johnson to be able to either play lefty-righty, or if someone has a bad couple of games, you throw somebody else in there.
But we know who's not coming out of the lineup in the outfield, and that's Curiel.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be in there for 3 years.
A walk, a double, and a strikeout. LSU 3, the Raging Cajuns 1. Fry takes a moderate lead from second base. Brown lifts one on the infield to the right side. And that is squeezed by Ardoin. So Milam and Brown failed to move Fry, and now there are 2 outs.
That was a big pitch by Herman. Went with a 3-2 breaking ball, and Brown got jammed on it. That was a big out. Got a breaking ball, 74-mile-an-hour breaking ball up in the zone, and watch this one just leave the ballpark right there, right above the belt. Aaron Beatty knew he got all of it. Immediately, that ball traveled out of the ballpark, over the bleachers, and hits off.
So a bombardier blast by Aaron Beatty, and the Tigers, who gave up 1 in the top of the inning, come back with 5 of their own. Curiel and Jones walked. Dickinson and Fry doubled. Aaron Beatty.
Now that base hit assures that every Tiger in this starting 9 is going to get a plate appearance this inning, and one of the harder hit balls of the season so far for Braswell. Laces this one right over the head of the outstretched glove of Connor Cuff at shortstop.
So Stanfield carries a .320 average to the plate in the 9-hole. He has started every game but 1. 10 driven in this year, and he takes a strike. So the Tigers bat around in the first.
Curiel, 2 at-bats this inning, reached by walk first time up, and then that time you can't throw it any better.
No, he is a magician with that bat in his hand.
No chance for Herman. Even if he doesn't slip, he's not going to get Curiel. And Herman's already thrown 37 pitches here in the first inning. Very possible he doesn't even come out of the dugout for the second inning. We'll see.
And he may not come out, may not stay any longer here. In fact, they're going to have to make the call. This is the second trip to the mound. So we'll take a pitching change timeout. LSU has responded to the Raging Cajuns' run in the first with 5 of their own in the second. They've got a chance for even more with Jared Jones at the plate. We'll take a timeout and be right back. LSU, with the first inning still in progress, has a 5-1 lead over the Raging Cajuns.